Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 unusual families you won't believe exist. So when you think of an unusual family, you likely think of the Kardashians. But these families make the Kardashians look normal. From families with insane pets to families with weird relationships and those who live in the wild. Before we get too weird, be sure to subscribe and press the notification bell too. Coming in at number 10 we have Granny Love. So this is a reunion story of a grandson and his grandmother. After Phil Bailey's mother passed away, he decided to track down his grandmother. Phil Bailey's mom never knew her own mom. This is because when Phil's mom's mom was pregnant, she had to give her away because she was strongly Catholic. But eventually, Phil Bailey tracked down his long-lost 72-year-old grandmother named Pearl Carter. Now, most of the time when family members are reunited, there's a lot of love. But when Phil and Pearl reunited, there wasn't just love, but arousal. That's right, the two felt a surprising and, as some have said, creepy romantic attraction to each other. Despite the 46-year age gap and them being grandson and grandmother, the two decided to get together. And apparently the grandmother was even arrested for this relationship. To make matters even more unusual, they later paid for a surrogate mother and bought an egg. That's right, this grandmother and this grandson had a child together. Now that is what I call a close family. Next up is DUGGAR family. How do you like it if your family was being recorded for live television 24/7? You'd probably hate them capturing all your worst and most embarrassing moments on camera. Well, the Duggars starred in their very own TLC reality show 19 Kids and Counting. The show followed Jim Bob Duggar and Michelle Duggar along with their 19 kids. The show was actually very popular and lasted 10 seasons, but it was soon cancelled. This is because it was found out that the eldest Duggar child was actually a major criminal. He actually acted inappropriately with underage girls, and 4 of them were his sisters. Next up is Werewolf Mom. So many kids who get adopted and never know their parents don't usually end up finding them. But nowadays with modern technology and the internet you can often track them down. But of course that comes with some risk, as you never know what you might find. Well, when Richard Lorraine decided to track down his birth mother, he found Vivian Wheeler. He was shocked to find out she was born a hermaphrodite. This means she was born as a mix of a man and a woman, and she also had a condition called hypertrichlosis, also known as werewolf syndrome. This is where you grow hair all over your face and entire body. Vivian later gave birth to Lorraine as she was working as a bearded lady in a circus. Lorraine's father was also working at that same circus, but they decided to put their kid up for adoption. But it's pretty awesome to know that Richard and his bearded mom have since reunited. Next up is Isolated Family. We all know that some people are pretty anti-government. They don't like people tampering in their lives and telling them what they can and can't do. But the Gray family go above and beyond that. They have no respect for the law or government forces. After assaulting an officer, they skipped bail. John Joe Gray then led his family to live in isolation on a 47-acre compound. They don't let anyone in and trespassers may meet their fate. They are armed to the teeth and are very paranoid. There are 10 family members living on the compound and they have a self-sufficient lifestyle. They don't have to leave their compound as they grow all of their own food. They also make their own clothing and live without electricity or water. The authorities were going to take action, but seeing as what happened in the 1993 Waco siege, they decided against it. So the Gray family simply live on this compound in isolation, untouched by authority, the law, or government. Next up is twins reunited. So this is one of the most remarkable coincidences in history. Jim Springer and Jim Lewis are twins. However, soon after their birth, they were both separated. However, when they were 39 years old in 1979, they both met each other for the first time. For 39 years, they hadn't even been aware of each other's existence. But that's why it's so strange that these twins have so much in common. The pair are physically identical for one, but their lives have also turned out very similar. They both had childhood dogs and both dogs were named Toy. They both married first wives named Linda and second wives named Betty. They also went on vacation to the same Florida beach and shared the same IQ and habits. They even had the same facial expressions, handwriting, and when a scientist examined them, he found they have the same brainwaves and the same heartbeats too. Next up is Lion family. So, did you have a dangerous pet while growing up? Perhaps you had a particularly dangerous dog. Or maybe you had something like a scary snake. Well, most families don't live with lions. This family did, but why? Well, they were actually method acting for the 1981 drama thriller called Raw. The film was all about a family living with a pack of lions. So Tippi Hedren, Noel Marshall, and their daughter Melanie Griffith decided to really do it for the film. They adopted a lion named Neil to come stay with them. However, Neil the lion was not domesticated, and the filming concluded in 70 injuries to the cast and crew. And this includes all of the 3 family members. The movie cost $17 million to make, but only turned over $2 million. Next up is Killer Family. So we all know that families can be very close, but there's no type of family closer than a crime family. Well, this family was responsible for the passings of at least 30 people across southern Russia in the late 2000s. The family gang included a dentist dad, a nursery teacher mom, and their teenage daughter. There was also one more teenage daughter who was never named as she was too young. They not only took the lives of 30 people, 3 of those were police commanders. The head of the family, Roman, who was the dentist, eventually passed away in a shootout. His wife and 2 daughters then confessed to the rest of their crimes. Next up is the Desars Meehan Verity family. Thomas Desars is a Catholic and Republican against abortion or divorce. So you may think he would have a very traditional family. Well, that is not the case. His partner Michael Meehan actually wanted to have kids, but they couldn't adopt. This was due to the Kentucky law, which has now changed. Anyway, they got the help of one of Thomas's hair salon clients called Brooke Verity to serve as a surrogate. They only wanted 1 kid, but she provided them with 5. She gave birth to twins for the men and also didn't want her own kids. She tried to give up her parental rights and hand them over to the 2 men, but this was met with a lot of anger from locals. Also, the courts have not yet allowed this, so right now they're one big, very confusing family. Next up is Bad Mom. So this may be the worst mom ever, Teresa Cross. First of all, she took the life of her husband. She then severely mistreated her kids, including shooting one of them. She later lit one of her kids on fire while the other one surpassed to hunger. This was because she was locked in a closet without food or water for a long time. Believe it or not, it took over a decade for Susan to be tracked down and caught. This was because one of her adult daughters watched America's Most Wanted and then felt compelled to contact the police. This sure is one pretty insane family. Check out the poll in the top right corner to vote for the most unusual family on this list. I think it's the twins, because that is such a mind-blowing coincidence. If you guys want more amazing videos, check out my second channel. There'll be a link to that on screen right now. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what you're waiting for, subscribe to Top 10s.